Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Brondby episode. It's not an episode. Don't get your hopes up. This was a suggestion from a subscriber of mine, a good guy called Ozdaz, and he sort of said, he really enjoyed the save. And what about if you talk through some of your sort of summary of your time in Denmark? And I thought that's a great idea. And he gave me some suggestions of what to talk about, and it was so good, I'm just going to do what he said. So, can you please tell us for this save So he's got a list of favourite signings and stuff like that and my managerial career. So first we'll look into the managerial career. So this is my current manager screen. Apparently press conference lets his assistant do the talking for him, which is completely true because they're boring as all arse, right? There's only so many times you can ask the same answer to the same question, and yeah, so I let my assistant, that's fine. My interaction style is that I make time for my players despite more pressing concerns, apparently. So that's good, I guess. The favoured formation is a 4-1-2-3-1, 2-3-1-2, 3-1, 1-2, 2-1. What? That one. 4-1-2-3 DM wide, apparently. But yeah, okay, we'll go with that. An attacking method, as you've seen. So we played 161 games. We've won 98. So we've got a 60% win rate. It's not too bad. And my tributes have gone up nicely. Especially the mental side has improved quite a lot. I already was a sort of coaching style manager when I built my character, so that's quite nice. So if we look at my history, there we are. Highest fee spent is 5.25 million for Christopher Ayer. Received was Christy. We'll go into the transfers more. 1,049 days in charge. That's 3 years of in-game time that we spent at Brondby. Number of players released 2. Apparently good. Let's look at my achievements. So if we look at landmarks, so in our first season we won the league, which was brilliant. We didn't win the league. It says cup. I can clearly see it says cup. It says cup. It's the cup. We won the cup in our first season, which we were very, very happy with. First season I wasn't quite sure. I was still sort of learning the ropes. I was even learning how the fucking league system worked. So then in the second season we managed to win the league, and we lost in the cup final, I think, didn't we? So, and I was very happy with that. Brondby have gone a number of years without winning the league, so it was nice, especially because I know that there's a lot of Brondby fans that are now follow the channel. So I was like, this is more important for them than it is for me, type thing. And then in the third, so first year cup, second year league, third year cup and league. I think that's quite a nice little progression. I think that's pretty good. Are they just random stats for manager of the month? Okay. Shut up, dogs. Right, so let's go through the signings, shall we? So ignore my dogs, ignore them. They're not happening. Right, so in our first season, we spent 216 grand and we sold £1 million. So already making profit first season. Houdini, I can't remember who it was, so apologies for forgetting your name, but basically Houdini, John Howsitar, I think his name was, but we called it Houdini because it's weird. So he said, pick up Houdini, he's really good. So I managed to pick him up for £56,000, and he's been just really good, solid, not the most spectacular player in the world, but just really decent for us. Very happy with that. Lopo, who's now... So I don't even remember him. Jesus Christ, I've got the memory of a goldfish. Loki, shut the fuck up. Come here. Excuse me. So the big sort of signings I think in that first season were the loan signings. And so Joe Gomez, who was just superb for us. Damari Gray did all right. Jordan Rossiter came in for Liverpool and did well. On the freebies, the only big sell was Frederick Host for £1 million, who I just thought he wasn't even that good. So I was like, yeah, look at his average, Jesus Christ. So I thought, let him go, that's fine. And a bunch of just really shit youngsters. In the second season, this is sort of where we sort of spent most of our money. So we bought 1.2 million for the myth, the legend, Yuji Ono. We all know about him. We got some more good loan signings. We got Gustav Nielsen for 725k. Happy with that. Josh Harrop 245. Darlan for $500,000. And obviously the big one was Christopher Ayer for 5.25 million. And the reason we could afford him was obviously we've got a bunch of sort of 200, 300 grand players that weren't really cutting it. But Johan Larsson went for £2 million, which I was very happy with receiving. Dermissy went for 1.3. Pucky, Timu Pucky, he went for £2 million. How's he done since leaving us? Not great. Okay, and that's what gave us the money. And it was such a coup to get in Christopher Ayer. That is just ridiculous. I just say coup, didn't I? Yeah, let's go with a coup. As I was talking, I was like, I think I just said coup. Yeah, so that was brilliant. And then third season, we just refined the squad a little bit, really. So we sold Tom Carroll, who never did a very good job for us, but we got 1.5 million for him. Josh Harrop, Darlan, some of the players that came in went back out. Gustav Nielsen went out for 1.8 million. So we made a decent amount of money. Where's the big daddy man? There he is. Cristiano Biraghi sold for 5 million, and that basically allowed us to spend the money, and we wanted to spend it big. And we wanted to spend it on a Danish player because we were struggling with Danish players. And we brought in Michael Juland, who had an immense season. Quite a lot of money, 2.8 million, but he's just been absolutely immense. And I think Christian Bilic was going to become a superb player for us, same as Julian Green. So, on to his questions. So he says, my favourite signings. Well, who is my favourite signing? And I've got to go with the man, the myth, the legend, Yuji Ono. And the reason for this, it was a bit of a punt. I spent £1.2 million, which was a crap ton of money. That was a big signing for us. After he'd had one season in the Belgian Pro League for STVV, where he'd scored 22 goals in 37, and that's brilliant. But his average was weirdly low. And also, my scouts have never rated him. They said possible 3-star potential. And yet he came in and he has just been a little magician for us. He is 5'7", and he was just scoring all the goals. After that, I think I really like Joe Gomez. I'm a Liverpool fan, so it's really nice to get one of the Liverpool youngsters in. And if you look at his stats, we had him on loan for all 3 seasons. So he's basically been our player for 3 seasons, and he's getting better and better every season. So he was probably my sort of second favourite. My worst signing. That's an interesting one. Let me quickly refresh. I've got a couple in mind. I think Josh Harrop was one of my worst signings. Not because anything he did. I bought him as a right midfielder and then decided not to play with midfielders, which is a slight issue, winger rather. And then decided not to play with wingers. So that kind of screwed him over. And I did make 150 grand loss. He actually played all right. But then we changed system and he just didn't fit the system. So he's the only little player we really made a loss on. Darlan was not a very good purchase, but the reason I don't make him the worst one is that I actually managed to get me money back. Slight profit, cheeky. But yeah, I think you can say the best player I've signed is Christopher Ayer. Like, he shouldn't be fucking playing in Denmark. No offence whatsoever meant, but you know what I mean. Should be playing for fucking Celtic, that's for sure. I rescued him there. No offence. I'm just offending everyone. I'm just going for every country slowly. So definitely he was probably my best, and probably Josh Harrop and Darlan were both disappointing. Anybody from this season that I've not been massively impressed with? No, I'm pretty much happy with... who's this? Oh, he's my left back. He was just a filler-inner for a season, so that's okay. Most consistent performer, I think, again, it's got to be Ono. He was the only striker that I had that I could truly rely on consistently getting goals. I had Nielsen, my other striker, the Swedish giant. Is he a giant? I don't know if I'm making him. Did I sell him this season? I sold him this season, didn't I? Am I going mad? There he is. 6'6". Yeah, he is a giant. I knew he was a giant. I really loved him, and he did a job fantastically well. And especially the last season, he wasn't getting the games, but he was scoring the goals, good ratings, getting assists as well, holding up the ball, fantastic. But I just couldn't rely on him to get a goal. So, most improved player. That's an interesting one. I think probably Houdini. I think just because I managed to pick him up in the first season for 56 grand, and you know, he's still not a world beater by any means, but I think he's improved really well over the last, you know, couple of years. As you can see, stuff like, what the fuck is that orange? His composure is shot up. I just want to see his changes, man. I just want to. What's his composure? Yeah, like, you know, his composure's gone up a couple. If we see it for, can I just not? Why is my goalkeeping coach telling me? What about my attacking coach? Surely these are just numbers. But he's been sort of consistently, as you can see, most of his stats have just gone up a couple. It's always harder to develop good youth players into good players when you're at a smaller club, just because your facilities, your staff aren't as good. So he's done pretty well for the time he's had here. Best youngster, probably again Houdini. Currently in the squad, other than Houdini, some of these American kiddies that I've bought in have been absolutely superb. Like Tim Bailey, you know, he's not the highest stat in the world. He's only 19, but he's had a great season for us. He was solid, even though he was bitching about wanting to leave and not getting enough game time. But the left back, Kevin Mercer, has been superb. Like, I never expected these sort of players to come in and get much game time that first season. Like Mercer, look at this kid, Mike Vassell, 18 years old. Bought him in as a defensive midfielder. Then realised I didn't really have another one, so he had to play a